Hi, welcome to the Destin Business Forum. I'm your host, Amy Perry. It's brought to you by the Destin Area Chamber of Commerce. And our very first guest is Colonel Slife. He is the commander of the 1st Special Operations Wing at Hurlburt. That is a mouthful. But our second guest with Colonel Slife is Karen McCarthy. She is the Assistant Vice President of Florida Operations of Army Aviation Center Federal Credit Union. And that's an even bigger mouthful.
That's right.
All right, Colonel Slife and Karen McCarthy. Welcome.
Hi, Amy.
Thanks. Good to be here.
You guys are here to talk about the Honorary Commander Program, right?
You bet.
Okay, tell me all about it. I've participated some, so I know a little bit about it, but everybody else doesn't, so.
Well, would you like me to introduce it and you can give a perspective?
Absolutely.
Okay. So we have an Honorary Commanders Program at Hurlburt, and the purpose of the program is to reach out to civic leaders, whether they're business leaders or elected officials or just active civic leaders across the community, and expose them to what we do at Hurlburt Field. Typically we're looking for people that do not have an extensive military background, maybe don't understand everything that goes on at the base and how the military works. And what we do is we involve them in this program for a year. We pair them up with one of the key leaders at Hurlburt Field. And so, for example, I have an honorary commander that is partnered with me as the wing commander. Each of our group commanders has an honorary commander. Our command chief has one. And so there are about 8 at Hurlburt Field that are partnered up with us, and throughout the year we expose them to what we do at Hurlburt. So we invite them to participate in things that we do. We have orientations for them. They have an opportunity to go fly on our aircraft. And so our honorary commanders come out of the program with a much greater understanding of what we do at Hurlburt Field than when they came in. And really the purpose of this is to just help us educate the community, build relationships, have contacts, that when there are issues that come up that we need help with, or when there's something downtown that involves the base, that they know who to call. And so it's just a way for us to build relationships and educate the public about what we do at Hurlburt.
And I think I've only been involved for a little bit, but I think it's a great program. I mean, there's all the stuff that you read about in the paper and you see in the news, but when you get there and you meet everybody and how wonderful they are, how big their hearts are, and you're like, wow, I didn't know this. They don't say that. So for people like me that have really big mouths and spread the word, I think it's a great program. I had a lot of people in my family that were in the military, but I didn't know that much about it. So that's why I wanted to get involved. And I'm with training, which is the best. No, not joking, but they're...
No, actually it was maintenance.
It's,
but
the ones that I've been exposed to, they really do seem like they all build on one another.
That's right.
And you kind of want to get a little bit of competition going, but really they all build. I'm not telling you anything that you don't know, but. And Ms. McCarthy, you're here because you completed your honorary commandership this last year. Tell me what unit you were in?
I was with the maintenance group under Colonel Miglianico, and
Colonel Mig?
Colonel Mig, yes, that's how Colonel Mig. It was the most enriching for me personally. I was telling Colonel Slife earlier, the professionalism and the pride that these people have, all the way from low rank all the way up, is just phenomenal. They're very proud of everything that they do. I mean, it could be as simple as just look at this book that I went to training, and they're studying, and it's like you ask them questions and yes ma'am, and they're just, I was blown away. Besides the good stuff, so I got to change of commands. I got to ride in a helicopter.
You got to go up in a helicopter.
I got to go in a gunship. I mean, those are memories that I carry with me all the time. I mean, I talk about my experiences all the time. I can't say enough about the Air Force and what it did for me personally. It's phenomenal. I mean, just phenomenal.
You see all the young people and really how hard they work, how much they know. I was amazed by it. Tell me about your experience going up in the helicopter. I'm saying that because I haven't done it yet, and I'm jealous. But I'm going to get to, right?
The helicopter, I wanted to do it, but I was apprehensive. And, you know, you have to put the helmet on, you have to do everything. And we sat in, it was a Huey, and the doors were open. And I was like, oh my God, they're going to close those doors, aren't they? You know, and I got into the helicopter, and of course I sit in the middle. And they're like, no, get to the end. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm sitting at the end, and all of a sudden we started hovering, and I'm like, okay. And I'm looking down. I was like, oh God, I'm going to die. I know I'm going to die. And then all of a sudden, at Fort Rucker, there's a helicopter training at Fort Rucker. So I got to see how the helicopters do. You know, they hover, and then all of a sudden they do this, and they started banking. And it was like, all of a sudden, I was calm. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. We were hanging out the helicopter, waving at people. I mean, it was just phenomenal. I mean, I
felt very safe.
Oh my gosh, yes. Those pilots were just like, yes. And everybody, you know, we had someone sitting across us, and he's like, and we're like, we didn't want to get off. We didn't want it. We had something else to do. We're like, no, we can stay here. We can stay here. It was great. It
gives you a good appreciation for what these men and women do.
Absolutely,
every day.
Absolutely. I mean, I loved the helicopter. But the gunship was just wonderful.
And of course, I haven't done that yet either, so she's rubbing that in. But you get to do that. But you get exposed to all the different units. And one that we both did where they were, I know I'm not going to use the right terminology, I'll get in trouble for it, but they were packing the for lack of a better word, the ammunition.
Right.
They look like really big bullets. And they weighed like what, Karen, 40 pounds?
The big, yeah.
The 105.
Yeah, it was 40 pounds. I mean, and when he was talking about it, he's just like, and he just kept doing this, and we're like, okay, can I hold it? Yeah, and I held it. It was like, oh my gosh. I mean, it was.
You see the way he does it, and you thought that they were a lot lighter, and then he lets you. You're like, this guy does this, you know.
Yeah, and they, you know,
multiple times an hour.
And they kept telling us how fast they have to load them onto the gunship. And
right.
I was just in awe of that as well.
That's what I was thinking at the end. You know, if you had to say which unit is more important or means more, you really couldn't say that because it all, you know, it's all a chain. Everything is an important link in the chain. And I haven't completed the whole thing, and I'm excited to do that. And you get exposed to people. I would have never met you, and you may be saying, well, that's one of the downsides. But I would have never met you. I would have never met Colonel Alsett, who's my colonel, and just talk to them on a human level too, and find out their thoughts about different things that you don't read about in the paper. I think it's a wonderful program. If people that are watching this want to apply for that, I think it's in July,
It's
August.
in the spring. It's April, I believe, is the time frame.
Okay.
March, April time frame, and you can contact our wing public affairs office. I believe we have the email for that.
That'll probably be up on the screen, yeah.
And they can give you the information you need to apply for that program. But like you say, the key takeaway that we want all of our honorary commanders to get is that, this is like a Swiss watch, and you can't even take one small piece out and expect the watch to run. And so every one of our units is very important in our overall success. Great program.
If you had one word to describe it, Karen, what would you?
Awesome.
I would use impressive, but thank you, Colonel Slife, for being with us today. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you, Amy.
We'll be back.